Yeah! Fans around the world, welcome to our 30 years of Teal mini-series. We still are plugging along. It still feels really, really weird because obviously we technically are now well into the 31st season, but we're still continuing. Like I said, at the beginning of the year, we turned this into a whole year celebration, so we're still celebrating. Okay, it's November, and there's only really one thing we could have talked about the month's Mentus for November. Is that right, Sharky? Yeah, even Sharky knows. Oh, it was, of course, that infamous trade on November the 30th in 2005. Ooh. Can we just go back to that? I mean, 2005, I was still a couple of years away from being a Shark. I still quite remember young at the time. For those of you who were not being involved with the team at this time, can we go back to that? How many would have thought this trade would have been a possibility? Because I would not for 1 second would have thought this would have been one. So, now, being by this trade, how it's so humongous is that it alters the course for 2 franchises. Do you mind if I go and get him? Okay. It alters the course of 2 franchises. It doesn't just alter the course for your Sharks, it also alters the course for the Boston Bruins. Because at the time, hi Blades, nice. Stay for a little minute. Because at the time, Joe Thornton was the Bruins captain. In fact, let's look at his stats with the Boston Bruins. Because obviously that's where he began. Because he was drafted by the Bruins in the first round of the 1997 draft. He was the number 1 pick, and guess who was the number 2 pick? Patrick Marleau. There you go. So he was drafted by the Bruins in 1997 and stayed with them for 2005. Over the years, he's made quite impressive numbers for the Boston Bruins. He's about the most. In fact, interestingly, during his time with the Boston Bruins, the highest number of goals he scored hold on. Was 37 in the 2001 season. Oh, it's one of those numbers where it's hard to pronounce. That was the highest he's ever scored for the Boston Bruins. Assists is also impressive. Oh my god, he looks at the numbers. Numbers is just unstartable. The most points he got in the Boston Bruins season was in 2002-03 when he scored 101 points. He's also racked up quite a lot of penalty minutes for the Boston Bruins over the years. I think his highest was it that same season? No, it's the season before, 2001-2002. He spent 127 minutes in the penalty box. Let's look at that stat. He's got high numbers of penalty minutes for the Bruins, but his Sharks' penalty minutes are roughly the highest I think I've got is in the 50s. He very rarely was in the took much penalty minutes. Yeah, so they have altered the course of both these 2 sides. He's the number 1 pick of the 1997 draft for the Bruins. He was off to a hot start with 33 points in Boston's first 24 games. But obviously the 2004 Stanley Cup playoffs, he goes without a point. In fact, let's see. And the Bruins get eliminated in an upset by the Montreal Canadiens in the first round. And the Bruins going to the start of that next season. So that would have been the 2005-06 season, because obviously 2004 and 5 didn't happen due to lockout. So the next season after that would have been 2005-06 when the trade happens, and the Bruins struggled at the start of that season. Now there were no players, they left as free agents. General manager at the time, Michael Collar, feels he needs to make a major move to overhaul the team. And that was the major move. So let me just explain to you what the trade was for. So, who got who? Well, we get Thornton. In exchange for Thornton, we give the Bruins forwards Marco Sturm and Wayne Primeau, along with defenseman Brad Stewart. So that was the trade. So that's what we got. We only got the one player, which of course was all we needed. And the Bruins in return got 3 players out of it. And after that, as we all know, Joe Thornton, he made himself right at home here in San Jose. And he put up 92 points in 58 games, finished the season with a combined 125 points, won the Art Rose Trophy, the AHL's top scorer for that year, and the Hart Trophy's MVP, also amazed by the AHL's most reliable playmakers for more than a decade. Interesting though, with how, as I mentioned, this trade, it altered the course for 2 franchises, but our side of the trade, it impacts us majorly. The Bruins side of the trade, not so much, because none of the 3 players that we gave Boston the trade, made much of an impact for the Bruins. Though the cap flexibility at the time created by the trade enabled Boston to sign players such as defenseman Zdeno Chara, and that's another big major move, which obviously affected the Bruins in a different way. Okay, but anyway, thank you for joining us, Blaze. Off you go now. Okay, don't worry about abuse. Bye, Blaze. Thank you for coming on. Let's go. Now I'm going to try this team pack. Thank you, darling. Thank you for going on there for us. I started to sort of highlight it out there, how it affected both sides. I thought we'd bring Blades on. It's not too bad. Right. So yeah, since the trade, he literally made a big impact. In fact, he even then became a Sharks captain. Let me look this up. Yeah, because obviously, like I said, he was the Bruins captain at the time, so you would think that was a big, big shock for the Bruins to give up their captain like that in quite a substantial trade. But I suppose when you're in a team that like Boston and you are not making the waves you should be making, you kind of have to do what you have to do in order to, try to get yourselves back in the mix or stay in the mix. So yeah, so obviously it was a big shock at the time. Right, here we go. Let's look it up. So now it did take him a while though to be in Teal colours before he became captain. His first year as a captain was in the 2010-11 season. He was replacing Rob Blake. Who did he? Did he have his captain removed, or was he moved to a different team? Because some of our Sharks captains have either had the captaincy removed and still on the team, or they just literally gone to a different team and needed to be replaced. Let's have a look. Oh no, he retired. There we go. So he retired There we go. Right, that explains that. Okay, so Joe Thornton became captain in 2010-11. Of course, we all know the Sharks went to the Western Conference Finals that year. Then a tough road to get to that Conference Finals. So you have the heart attacker first round against LA. You have the stress for rematch against Detroit. And then sadly fall short against a surprising Vancouver club. So, what were they? And he remained the Sharks captain all the way up until the 2014-15 season, because in the 2015-16 season he would have his captaincy taken off him, but it was given to a very worthy successor. Yes, Shark agrees. A very worthy successor in the form of Joe Pavelski, who sadly is another brilliant ex-Sharks captain who you thought might stay with the club forever. No, he's gone. Oh dear. I don't know, I don't know. Oh my. My. Oh, yeah. Like I said, upon arriving on Saturday, he just improved our fortunes, and just found instant chemistry, which is so hard to do. You found with your new team, especially if you've been traded sort of mid-season or during the season, and you found real chemistry. Instant chemistry with winger Jonathan Teal. During the absence of the usual alternate captain at the time, Alan McCauley, for the Saturday lineup. He donned the 8 for the first time as a Shark in a game against back then Phoenix Coyotes on March the 30th, 2006, and wore the 8 whenever McCauley was out of the lineup for the remainder of that season. He tied up, as I mentioned already, 92 points in 58 games, and the Sharks after the trade. Finished the season with a league leading 96 assists and 125 points in total, as mentioned, to earn the Art Rose Trophy, the league's top scorer, and became the first player to win the award while splitting the season between two sides. And due to success, Chichu also enjoyed a career season, winning the Rockets' Richard Trophy as the NHL's top goal scorer with 56 goals. However, the 2006 playoffs, Thornton was once again criticised for his play, as his production decreased to 2 goals and 9 points, 11 games, as the Sharks went out in the second round. And this off-season, Thornton was on for his regular season play and was awarded the Hart Memorial Trophy, the league regular season MVP, to go with his Art Rose Trophy. He's the only player in history to win the Hart Trophy while playing for 2 different teams in the same season. Right, so he begins the 2006-7 season being awarded a permanent alternate captaincy. He sort of struggled in the first half of the season, though, when he suffered from an injury. And after recovered, he did enjoy the productive second half, battling Pittsburgh Penguins' Sidney Crosby for a second consecutive scoring title late in the year. Eventually, finishing 6 foot behind Crosby, 114. Where league leading 92 assists, Boston became only the third player in NHL history to record back-to-back 90 assist seasons, joining Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. And so it begins the 2007 playoffs by recording 6 assists in the Sharks' first round series against the Preds. We bounced the second round against the Red Wings, where he recorded a goal and 3 assists in the first 3 games of the series. However, Force was effectively neutralised by Red Wings defenseman Nicklas Lundström for the remainder of the series, as the Sharks were eliminated in 6 games. Now, in that off-season, he ends up signing a 3-year contract extension, which obviously would keep him in the Sharks till 2011. In the 07-08 season, he finished with 96 points. So you can tell the stats here, they're just like off the chain. Reaping the awards, both the player and the team here. Finished 96 points, 29 goals, 67 assists to finish 5th in the league scoring-wise. In the 08-09 season, he was named captain of the Western Conference for the 2009 NHL All-Star Game, which was held in Montreal. It's been quite a while since we've had a Shark named captain, haven't we, of an All-Star team. It has. Quite a while. Now, of course, in that season, of course, 0809 is a very important one for me because obviously in the second half of that season is, of course, where I officially, obviously, joined the Sharks. I did. Now, I can't remember exactly when at the point of that year I became a Shark. But I definitely remember I didn't get involved until the 2009 half of it, so not the 08 part of it. So what I always did every year, come January the 1st, I always just add add another year onto my tally. So January 1st, 2022, I'll add another. It will be my 13th year as a Shark, but I can't remember exactly when. It was a bit of a shame because it'd be nice to have that as a nice little anniversary, but at the same time, you would like to add things on. You don't need like when you've been that. But yeah, so that's a big year. Was a big year for me because obviously during that season I would become a Shark myself, but not till the second half of the year. So the 2009 part, and of course, in that season, of course, the Sharks were the President's Trophy champions. And he completed that season with 86 points. But unfortunately, the playoffs, we were eliminated by the Ducks in the first round. But in those playoffs, he did record a goal and 4 assists in those 6 games. Now, it's September 2009, so before starting the 09-10 season, so my first full season as a Shark. I'm kind of like Thornton, aren't I? Came to the Sharks midway, and have stuck with ever since. But so before the start of that season, the Sharks ended up acquiring Danny Heatley in a 3-player trade that sent Thornton's struggling former lineman Jonathan Chichu, left winger Milan Mikhailek, and a second-round draft pick to the Senators. Thornton, Heatley, and the Sharks captain Patrick Marlowe were joined on the Sharks' top line and enjoyed immediate offensive success together. The trio helped the Sharks to award their best ever regular seasons in franchise history. Although, in the second half, the Lions' production still slowed down a bit, as all three finished in the league's top 15 in points scoring. Thornton's 89 points ranked 8th, Marlowe's and Heatley's finished 14th and 15th, respectively. And the Sharks entered the 2010 playoffs, first seed of the West, 83 scoring with 80. First seed of the West for the second consecutive year in a row. Not as the President's Trophy champions this time. Who was that in 2010? Look it up. Because obviously in 2009 we went as the President's Trophy winners. And then 2010 we went in just as regular season as the Capitals. There you go. Right. So Sharks second in a row going to the top seed of the West. Unfortunately, they were to be eliminated by the Blackhawks in the Western Conference Finals. Despite passing the Colorado Avalanche and Detroit Red Wings in the first 2 rounds. And Thornton finished those playoffs with a career-high 12 points in 15 games. So after the elimination, team management vacated all the Sharks' captain positions, including Thornton's role, as well as the alternates. And as I mentioned, prior to that season, he was chosen to replace what was the retiring Rob Blake as the 8th captain in team history on October 7th, 2010. 9 days later, signs a 3-year contract extension, and near the start of that season, he scores the 4th hat-trick of his AHL career against Martin Brodeur in a 5-2 win over the New Jersey Devils. In November, he did get suspended 2 games for a controversial hit to the head against St. Louis before David Perron, and he missed the remaining 72 games of that season due to post-concussion syndrome. He did return on admitting 97 games over 30 on 7th of 2011. Later in the campaign, Thornton eclipsed Marlowe as the Sharks' all-time leader in assists, and he scored his 1,000th career point with a goal in the game against the Phoenix Coyotes on April 8th, 2011 in the first round of the playoffs. He scored a series-winning goal in overtime of Game 6 against the Kings, to the second round. Right, now we move on further along the line. So on January 24th, 2014, he signs a 3-year contract extension with the Sharks through to the 2017 season. At the end of the 2013-14 season, Thornton ranked 46 on the all-time points leaders with 1,194 and 24th on the all-time assist leaders, 852. He also gave the Sharks all-time leading assists with 567 and finished that season with 11 points and 65 assists as the Sharks amassed 111 points, just 6 short of their franchise all-time high mark, are among the favourites to win the Stanley Cup. Oh yes, give me one sec. Oh, I remember this one very well, Sharky. Even though we got our revenge on them in 2016, it still stings. It really does still sting. Because really in 2014, we should have got the Kings. We should have had the Kings in that matchup. We were the only people that year who thought exactly the same thing. Oh, we should have beaten the Kings. Hey, Ducks, Blackhawks fans. You know what I mean. First round. Won the first 3. And then the Kings won the next 4. Became just the 4th team in the NHL to win a playoff series after trading 3 games to none. And I feel that also happened with the Kings in the Ducks and the Blackhawks series. They had to win from 3 games down. So unfortunately, that means that for the first person just 2 goals and an assist. Now, August 20, 2014. Ah yes, right. I got confused there because I thought his character didn't get taken until the start of the 15-16 season, but nope. On August 2014, Sharks head coach Tom Clem strict force of his captaincy, and the Sharks they would start the season without a captain. And in fact, we went the whole of that season with no captain. And it wasn't until when Peter DeBoer came in, the start of the 15-16 season, that Joe Pavelski was named as the Sharks' 9th captain at the start of the 15-16 season, and as I mentioned already, he proved to be a Webb's successor who really should still be here, as should Fortable move on. Right, so January 28, 2015, Fortable records his 1,000th official career point during against Colorado Avalanche with his assist on a Joe Pavelski goal. Fortin's 2nd assist of the game. He was the 33rd player in NHL history to reach 1,100 points, 2nd amongst active players. Baltimore recorded 16 goals and 49 assists during that 40-50 season, despite the Sharks failing to qualify for the postseason for the first time since 2003. So, Baltimore then finished the 15-16 season with 19 goals and 6 assists as the Sharks returned to the playoffs. Oh my, did we return. Big style. We got revenge on the Kings for 2014 in the first round in 5 games. The second round, we had a tough stance against the Preds, but to beat them in 7. And in fact, what was interesting about that second round matchup, and no, it was not the pussycat on the ice. Before you start, it was not the puss. Although that was a bit spooky. Wasn't the puss? That was not the scary. That was not the weird thing. The weird thing about that series was the home team won every single game. So it's a good job we had home ice advantage. Otherwise, this would have been a completely different story. But in that second round series against Nashville, the home team won every single game. Do I need to explain the puss thing? Yeah, I explained it on playoff mode, but in case you're not listening to that, before the start of Game 1 of that series, a pussycat made its way onto the ice. We still don't know how this happened, but it made its way on the ice, and it was like, oh. But no. So no. But you still remember the pussycat. Did you eat it afterwards? Oh, it's giving nothing away. But yeah. Got the 9-7. So then we would advance to the College Pass for the first time since 2011, and we defeat the Blues in 6 for our first Stanley Cup final trip. Also, it would be Thornton's first time playing the final in his career. But, alas, it was not to be. We will get there one day. Oh my god, we will win that cup one day. Obviously, it's not going to be with Thornton, but we will one day win that cup. And me and Sharky are going to let the entire league know about it, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to get absolutely hammered. We're going to have a massive party. Yeah. So yeah, all that day will come. That day will come. But in terms of Thornton and playoff stats that year, he finished 5th in points for the playoffs with 21 and 2nd in club assists with 18. At the end of the season, he was named a second-team All-Star for the 15th season. Right, so we now go to March the 6th, 2017. In a game against the Jets, Thornton recorded his 1,000th NHL assist, becomes the 13th player in NHL history to reach that milestone. And since he started playing in the NHL in 1997, he has had the most assists among the league's active players. In July that year, he signs a 1-year contract. Now, this, of course, is when you start thinking, right, how much longer has he got left? Not just as a Shark, but as a player. Because he, like Patrick Morrow, were getting to the very close to 40. So you think, right, at that point, you think, right, how much this one got left? So I think in that point, for me, that was like, right, okay, how long have we got left with him? Yeah, so July 1st, 2017, he signed a 1-year contract to return for the following season. Now, in January 2018, he got that nasty injury in Winnipeg, which saw him missing the remainder of the season. On July 2nd, so basically almost exactly 1 year after signing that initial 1-year contract, he signed another 1-year deal to return for the 18-19 season. And on November 13, 2018, scored his 400th career goal to go along with 1,500 games playing and 1,000 assists. As of 2018, that feat has only been achieved by 6 other players in NHL history. And on February 11, 2019, a 7-2 win over the Vancouver Canucks, Thornton passed Gordie Howe for 9th place on the NHL all-time assist list. And obviously would reach the West class again. However, this time, the Blues are the ones who get revenge, and of course would then go on to win the Stanley Cup in what was incredible fashion. Oh, Gloria, indeed. I know. And he Thornton put up 4 goals and 6 assists during those playoffs. Now, on September the 6th, 2019, he was re-signed to a 1-year deal again. He recorded his 1,500 career point on February the 4th, 2020 in a 3-1 win over the Calgary Flames. It was a disappointing year for the Sharks. That's in that season. The less said, the better. Obviously, we did not win the postseason. And unfortunately, that would be it, because that would be the final season for Force as a Shark. Because in October of 2020, so this is October the 16th, 2020, he signs a 1-year deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs ahead of what would be the delayed 2020-2021 season. The Leafs were making a big splash, thinking, yes, we'll finally win a playoff series with Thornton. Oh, my wickedness is when we got Sharky. That's bad. That's bad parenting. That's bad parenting. Well, because obviously I've been Maple Leafs fans for thinking, yes, we're gonna finally win the Stanley Cup again! Montreal Canadiens like, hold my soda. Hold my soda! Hold it! Oh. In fact, I don't think Thornton was that big of a player for them in that series. Have a look. Right, so in 44 regular season games against only Canadian clubs, he recorded 20 points in 44 games, and in that 7-game series to Montreal, he only scored 1 goal. Wow. That is absolutely shocking. Yeah. Absolute shocking. Those numbers are dire. Just proves he was on the wrong team. So obviously, this is the last bit now. We're almost at the end. So obviously, he does not then stay with the Maple Leafs. And on August the 13th this year, he returned for his 24th NHL season. This time, signing with the Florida Panthers. Again, it's just a 1-year deal. And of course, we'll have to wait and see, if he can maybe do a lot better than he did with the Maple Leafs last year. Because obviously, we'll wait to see how much that's dependent on him, and also how much is it going to benefit the Florida Panthers. Because there's kind of like a bit of a in the middle team, and they're not great, but they're not really making a start. But we'll see. But yeah. Overall, you just see the stat, and you think, oh my, what an impact he made to his team. Again, he's one of many former Sharks players who you think should still be on the team to this day. I mentioned Teal already. Him, Pavelski, Mars, another one. All ex-Sharks captains. It's just very rare you get a player like that on your team, and how he made an impact to this team. There will not be another one like him. But who would have thought back in 2005 that trade would create humongous ripples? Who would have thought it? I think that's the best way to end the show. Okay, so thank you so much for watching or listening. If you listen to the podcast version, so remember, we'll be releasing this show as a YouTube vid and a podcast episode. So wherever you've been tuning in today, thank you so much for tuning in. Next time, it is the final show in the mini-series. Now, of course, we're having to change this from being during the 35 birthday season to the whole 35 birthday year of 2021. It kind of means we can't end on what feels like it should be a mid-season show. Because December was very, very hard to pick moments for. But we have eventually done it. We are going to next time be looking back on the Sharks' first ever hat-trick in franchise history. We're also taking a look back at some other hat-trick stats for the Sharks, and also a further in-depth on the player who made that moment happen. So that's what's coming up on our final show. Don't forget, if you haven't already listened or subscribed to the podcast yet, you can do so wherever you get your podcasts. And also, you can get involved by emailing your thoughts to podcast@podcast.com. Until next time, all left for us to say is, and so I will leave you now. Well, thank you for joining us for another amazing video. To see more, check out our most recent upload here, or why not check out that featured playlist. And don't forget to subscribe. What are you waiting for? I highly recommend it.